Welcome! Today we're going to cover one new type of rhythm as well as learn how time signatures work. Let's get started. First, we're going to do a little bit of review in case you forgot some of our rhythms as they got pushed out of your brain when you were trying to memorize the periodic table of elements for science class. Hydrogen, helium, lithium. Oh, well, let's get started. Anyhow, so far we've covered the whole note, the one that looks like a donut, if you remember, the half note, which looks like a donut on a stick, the quarter note, which looks like a donut on a stick but doesn't have a hole, and the eighth note, which has a little flag on the top or bottom of the stem. Today, we're going to concern ourselves with only the whole note, half note, and quarter note, and we're going to introduce a new friend, the dotted half note, which looks like a donut with a stick and a donut hole sitting next to it. Some of these look familiar? Hopefully they do. Before we get started and knee-deep in rhythms though, let's talk time signatures. Today we're only going to be talking about time signatures with the number 4 on the bottom. The top number can be anything, from 1 to infinity. Well, whole numbers anyhow. The top number tells us how many counts are in each measure. Now I can already hear you saying, Mr. M, what's a measure? Ah yes, a measure is a small piece of music that is separated by a bar line in the same way that a word is part of a sentence and each word is separated by a space. The time signature has a 3 on the top. We're going to know that we're counting 3 of something. And then we're going to put a bar line to begin a new measure, just like you put a space after a word. The bottom number of the time signature is an abbreviation for the type of note that you're going to be counting. As noted before, all the time signatures today we're talking about have a 4 on the bottom, which is an abbreviation for 1/4, which you could translate to as a quarter, meaning a quarter note. Essentially what this means is that we're going to be counting quarter notes, in case you fell asleep during that lengthy explanation. Now, let's look at this time signature that says 4/4. The top 4 means there are 4 counts, and the bottom number tells us that we are counting quarter notes. Translation, there are 4 quarter notes in each measure. If the time signature was 3/4, accordingly, it would say that there are 3 quarter notes in the time of a single measure. Here is a time signature of 26/4, in which we would be counting 26 quarter notes in the time of each measure. Hopefully we never have to play in 26/4 because that really looks complicated. Now it's time to have those pesky time signatures get knee-deep in some mathematics. Are you ready? I hope you are. Let's start by looking at a measure of 3/4 time. As you can see, this one is filled in with 3 quarter notes. In this case, we would count them 1, 2, 3, and put a bar line. Easy peasy. But wait, it can get more complicated. Let's say we want to hold a longer note. What would we do then? Well, we could use our friend, Mr. Half Note, our donut on a stick. A half note is equivalent to 2 quarter notes, and you just hold it as one longer note. If you were playing in 3/4 time, this half note would take up beats 1 and 2 in this example, and we would simply put a quarter note afterwards to make 3, because as you probably know from math, 2 plus 1 equals 3. Very good. Now, if we wanted to just make one note take up the entire measure of 3/4 time, how on earth would we do that? Well, that's where our new little friend comes in, Miss Dotted Half Note. This glorious note is the same length as 3 quarter notes, so if you can do the math, 3/4 time means there's 3 quarter notes, and there's 3 quarter notes and a... Oh my gosh, it takes up the whole thing! Wow, that's not complicated, right? In fact, it's pretty easy. Nice. Now, what happens if we're in 4/4 time and we have one of these dotted half notes? Well, we just have some missing space to fill in. No big deal, right? So if we have a dotted half note for our first note, and it equals 3, oh my gosh, we have to do algebra, Mr. M. 3 plus x equals 4. What kind of note could we possibly put in there? Oh wait, I know, it's a quarter note, because 3 plus 1 equals 5. I mean 4. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Whew, that was a close one. Alright, so we know a quarter note is 1, a half note is 2, a dotted half note is 3. Could we make 4 counts with one single note? Oh wait, we forgot about Mr. Donut note, the whole note. Of course we can. This big beefy note takes up all 4 counts in a measure of 4/4 time. Pretty easy, huh? Alright, so you think you got it? Well, let's do a couple quick problems to make sure that we've got it. Here's our first example. You'll need to check the time signature first. If you don't know how many counts you're looking for, it's impossible to tell what we need to put to complete the measure. Then, second, we need to figure out how many counts do we need. Add everything up, subtract, carry the 10. Oh, wait, did you say a quarter note? Yeah, you're right, it's a quarter note. Wow, that was quick. Nice job. All right, here's another example. Maybe I'll trick you this time. Again, be sure to check your time signature, add up the counts, figure out what's needed, carry the 10, divide by pi, and take the logarithm. Wait, did you say a half note? Oh my gosh, you're getting this. Great job. It is a half note. All right, final example. Check everything. You know what to do. You've got this. What are we missing? Oh, did I hear you say a dotted half note? You got it. That's totally what it is. Nice job. So, there you have it. Time signatures. Our first 4 note values are going to be using plain and songs. Hopefully, this makes it easier to understand and figure out just how long you're supposed to hold those notes as we start getting more and more challenging rhythms. This may be not the craziest thing you've ever seen yet, but we'll get there. Don't you worry. Oh, that looks challenging, doesn't it? Well, thankfully, we're not playing that quite yet. Just remember, always check that time signature, and happy practicing.